So this is a 2015 GMC Yukon. This one comes in the SLT trim level in iridium metallic on jet black perforated leather interior. And our powertrain consists of a 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8 made it to a 6-speed automatic transmission. And this is right after the redesign of the Yukons in 2015. So we have our projector headlamps. Then we also have LED daytime running lights, which they don't reflect like that. That's just how my camera's picking them up. And then fog lights down there. So it was a really, really cool look, especially for it to be a refresh in 2015. Just looked really, really ahead of its time. We just have a few nicks and scratches here. This one has just under 104,000 miles. So it's still been taken pretty good care of, it looks like. Not a lot of scratches, rock chips everywhere. And then over here we have the 18-inch aluminum wheels. And it's also, I like the iridium metallic because scratches don't show up as much as you'd see on, let's say, a black vehicle or something like that. But we get passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. And then we have one-touch down windows for the back, and then one-touch up and down for the driver and front passenger. And then power folding mirrors with turn signal indicators and blind spot monitors. And then we can set our power mirrors here, so pick a side, and then you can adjust here. And you can actually turn it on and off, which I like. Power door locks. Child lock is up here, which I like. You can just hit a button instead of having to do it manually on the door, and then you have a rear window lock as well. And I also like that these are separate, so if you just want to lock the rear windows, you can do that, because a lot of vehicles today, you can do both of them, but you have to do them one at a time from the front. Pocket here, tons of space here, big bottle holder, another bottle holder there, memory seat controls here. Of course, you get a Bose sound system, headlamp controls, fog light, you just hit that to turn them on and off. Then we have the lane departure, parking sensors, traction control, and then adjustable pedals. We can use those back and forth. And then hood latch right there, foot brake. You just push it, if I can hit it. That's how you turn it on, and then hit it again, cut it off. Power tilt and telescoping steering wheel here. And here's our driver's seat, power with power lumbar support. And you can see just a tad bit of wear there on the seat, so it's held up pretty nicely for the age, especially the miles. But I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3", longer legs. Now let's go ahead and test that out. So pretty impressive leg room. Legs are not touching the back of the seat, except on the sides here, barely when I move them. But if I sit back straight all the way, that's not an issue. Now down here, we do have rear AC controls, and we can set an auto mode for that. Adjust temperature, fan speed. We have 3-stage heated outboard seats as well. Then we have our modes here. 3-prong household plug-in, 12-volt storage pocket down in here. And like I said, for 2015, this was just, it seemed ahead of its time. I mean, we even had the premium dome lights as well. Just a really nice vehicle. Even the cup holders here, phone pocket here. Here's a view of the back seat. And then dome lights back there as well. And then our grab handle here. Hook can hold 1 or 2 hangers in that space there. Another grab handle there. Now to get to the back seat, pull up here, and then that'll fold flat. And then you can also pull this, and then it'll tumble forward when that seat up front is up far enough. So you can step back in there. But these are actually pretty durable, so a lot of people just step there and then step on the back of the seat. The only thing is it will get dirty, so you got to keep it clean. But pretty easy to use all in all. And then fuel filler, just click that. And this one was actually flex fuel capable, which is nice to have. Now coming to the back end, we have the premium taillights there. And then you can see just a few scratches where someone was a little rough on this tailgate here. And then might have hit a few things backing up. But the liftgate seems to be working very well. And then you did get your power folding third row, and that seems to be working well too. We have a little storage pocket there, cup holder there, 2 cup holders over here, and you can also tumble the second row down as well. And then a little storage pocket down in here if you ever want to use that. But like I said, just a really good design at the time. And if you're in the third row, you can hit this button here and you can fold the second row down to get in and out. And then front passenger seat, also power with power lumbar support. And this is about as worn as the one over there, so not a lot. Lockable glove compartment. This one still has the owner's manuals. Had a little pocket on the side here for additional storage. And then coming around, we're gonna open this hood here. And it's mostly covered up. There's that 5.3 liter V8. And I like how easy that hood is to close. Let's hop in the driver's seat. Leather wrap steering wheel. Still in pretty good shape, seems like, for the most part. And then heating is right there. Over to the radio here. I always like that we could, whoa, somebody did not know all that stuff was back there. But that still works. You have that stow and go there. Navigation. And then we did get AM, FM, and then the option of XM radio when you have a subscription. And then XM weather, Pandora, all that stuff when it's hooked up. That's the only page there, but settings, you can go through all that here. And then volume here, you can power the mute there. And then you can hold it and it goes into that kind of sleep mode, and then you just hit the power button again, turn it back on. And then you can use this to go through your menu here. And then you can also use it as an enter button, and then when you're in the actual radio or whatever, you can use that as a tune button, which is pretty cool. And then we do have a CD drive here, dual zone automatic climate controls. We can sync there, and to unsync it, you do have to change the temperature. Same with the auto mode. To undo that, you have to toggle the fan speed. And then we have rear AC controls here, which a lot of people don't realize how nice it is to have, because in today's vehicles you have to go in the screen and do all that, but I can actually just go through fan speed here, adjust temperature here, lock it there, just buttons for everything. Auto, turn everything off. It's just nice to have. And then we have the 3-stage heated cooled seats for the driver and front passenger. Controls are there. And for the heated seat, you can either do the seat back and seat bottom, or just the seat back. And then 2 USB ports there, 12 volt there, 2 cup holders here, center console cubby space, really good size. And then we have an SD card reader, 2 USB-A inputs, and an aux input there. Nice little storage pockets in here, another 12 volt there. And then for the sunroof, we can either one-touch slide it open, which that seems to be in great shape still, or we can tilt it, and it's also one-touch close. And then sunroof controls are here, universal home remote controls are here for the garage. Then we can set this to either 3/4 off or max for the rear lift gate. And then sunglasses holder here, and then you can make sure you're keeping an eye on your passengers there. So I like that. Same with the dome lights up here, OnStar. Back to the steering wheel, cruise controls are here, all of that, and then we have the forward collision alert gap adjust that we can adjust there. And then to the right side, we have our voice recognition. This is a mute button, and also serves for your phone as well when you're in that mode. And then you can use these 4 arrows and this check mark to go through the gauge cluster in the middle there. So I like to leave it here, and then we have several different options on what we can see there. So yeah, just like I said, for 2015, it was definitely, I thought, ahead of its time. Hazards are here, and then to shift that 6-speed, hit the brake, pull down, reverse, neutral drive, and then manual mode, and you can manually shift here, and then you have a tow haul mode there, and when that's on, that yellow trailer will pop up on your gauge cluster. Push button start. Finally, here's the key fob with remote start. So this Yukon definitely seems to have held up in terms of just the paint and the interior, all of that over the years. So let's see how the engine and transmission is held up. Let's go ahead and take this Yukon SLT out on the road for a quick test drive. So far this seems to drive like the 2015 Yukons did when they were new. I can barely remember them, but I sold cars in another life. And I remember I delivered one to Kentucky, which is about a 2-3 hour drive, and it was just a really smooth ride. The acceleration was very luxurious in terms of how the gas pedal felt. It wasn't necessarily quick, but it was just easy to drive. And this is no different. Shifts are very quiet. Engine's very quiet. I like we have the forward distance indicator here. I'm gonna put my foot down a little bit. And that's one thing I liked about the 6-speed. I felt like it just didn't shift as much as the 8-speed did, which of course it wouldn't, but I felt like the 8-speed would sometimes just get lost trying to find that perfect gear. But the ride is still really, really good. I'm hearing just a little bit of vibration. Probably could use an alignment or something of that nature. I keep hearing sirens passing, so I don't know. But I'm getting right at 25 miles per gallon on this stretch coming downhill. And you'll get better fuel economy with the 2-wheel drive as opposed to the 4-wheel drive Yukon, but everything else is pretty similar. Just have a slight vibration in the steering wheel hitting the brakes there. So with 104,000 miles almost, might have a little suspension wear, might need some ball joints or something like that. But like I said, it's not affecting the ride. I just know what to look for. So I'm in manual mode now. And one thing I will say is, I think a lot of the weird pressure has to do with the adjustable pedals. Because they are adjustable, I feel like a lot of the times I'll have them too far back. So when I actually pull them up, where I'm used to having them, the pedal won't feel as far away, I guess. So I'm able to put my foot down a lot more into it. Yeah, so that's what that issue was. And that's probably what the issue was and the other Yukons I've driven. But that's what I like about them, because a lot of people like having that pedal that you have to work for so that you don't have a lead foot. And this is a really good option if you don't want that issue. I'm gonna give it throttle again here. Just a tad. But I mean, we do have a 5.3 liter V8, so it's not slow. But going back to how this is held up, like I said, the interior looks probably a 9 out of 10, honestly. Just a few scuffs and scratches here and there. Exterior probably about 8.5, mostly because of the back, where the vehicle is higher up, so you might scuff a suitcase trying to put it in the back. And then in terms of that rear lift gate, it's possible if you have it on max and don't know it that you could hit the top of the garage, things of that nature, or hit a vehicle behind you or a wall. So, because there weren't sensors there. So if you're backed into a spot, let's say against a concrete wall, and you hit the button to pull the lift gate up, it'll hit it, but you can stop it midway if you're paying attention. But all in all, just it's held up really nicely. The only thing I know that might be an issue is as these get more and more miles, I've heard from a couple mechanics that a lot of the times you got to replace the pistons or rods or something, they told me. So it's not the easiest job, but other than that, these things can go a long time, especially with the 6-speed. The 6-speed just holds up really nicely. It's a simple transmission, has less gears. So this one, like I said, great shape, has some life left in it. And this will bring me to the end of my review of the 2015 GMC Yukon, and this one is in the SLT trim level.